This is how to put Holley Retrobrights into a Toyota MR2 AW11. If you already bought these and just the headlights and you went to put them in and plug them in, you may have noticed that they don't work. You're like, what the hell? Nothing about this installation is normal. Unlike a classic American car that these are Holley Retrobrights, you can put them right in, they work. But not on an 80s Toyota. And the reason it doesn't work is because Holley made these things mostly to work with classic American cars that have switchable positive to turn their headlights on and off. But Toyota didn't do that. In the 1980s, they used switchable ground. And because these headlights are LEDs, they only like electricity going one way. They won't go both ways. So you need a separate wiring harness, which Holley will gladly sell you, to make them work. They have their own relays. They have their own connectors. But you have an MR2, which means everything's weird. We're going to go through how to put this in, and you're going to have to get extra wire, and you're going to be splicing stuff. But don't worry, we're not going to cut into the existing wiring harness. The first thing you're going to need is ATA circuits. And these are controversial. Some people don't like them, but for the sake of making this simplistic, that's what we're going to do. Doesn't matter what they are, just buy them on Amazon. ATC fuse ATA circuit. Inside the frunk of an AW11, there's going to be all kinds of body panels, your spare tire. All of that comes out. We need room to work. This is your front fuse panel, and this is where we're going to get 12 volts. These two fuses right here, the blue 15s, those are your fuses for both headlights. Take two 15 amp fuses, and if you don't have extra 15 amp fuses, they're really cheap again. Buy them on Amazon. And take your ATA fuse and put it into one of the headlight fuse sockets. On the end to your ATA fuses, you're going to find a butt connector. Into that end of the butt connector, you're going to take another piece of wire and put the female end of a bullet connector on. The reason you're going to do this is because we have to get all this wiring all the way under here and through this grommet. You notice that inside your housings for your headlights, the headlight bucket is completely filled. There is no direct route from inside the headlight bucket into the front. So you got two choices. Either you can drill baby drill and go right through, which we don't want to do that, or we can go through this wiring harness, gigantic grommet right here. So that's what we're going to do. You have a choice. You can either try to get this 40-year-old heat tape out, or we have to cut the grommet because we have to push more wires through it. So that's what we're going to do. As much as I hate to do it, we're going to cut this grommet because it's all taped up. Toyota wanted to make absolutely sure that nothing got through, no weather, no anything would get through this. So we are going to, once we have this separated, to make sure it's sealed back up again. I am using a window scraper, a razor, and gently coaxing it open. I'm not slicing in because the last thing we want to do is to slice into the wiring harness itself. You know what? I think that's enough. I think we've embiggened the hole enough. All of this has to fit through there. Oh, get through. Oh. My goal here is to not have to crimp and not have to cut this stuff. I am hoping that I have enough length in this wire to make it all the way around into the headlight bucket. So let's see how much I'm working with. Oh, my arm is deep. Oh, it's getting cut up by the headlight bucket. Oh. Okay, we got, how much? Oh, that is all the way back there. And that's all the distance I have to work with. That wire has to get all the way up here. Now, I just remembered something. Using a ground inside the headlight bucket or inside the headlight enclosure, which is this entire area right here, is a bad idea. And the reason it's a bad idea is because this is not weather sealed. So having current, if you were driving in the rain, having current go through a ground that was exposed to water is not ideal. So I had to start all over and pull this out. But in order to have this reach, this thing is not going to be long enough. So we're going to have to cut this, get some black wire, and make more wire. There's our butt connector and bullet connector to extend our ground, which I see some other grounds going right there, so that's probably good. That's where our ground will go, at least for the passenger side headlight. I think we're going to make it. The orange plug is for the headlight itself, and the headlight itself, they give you an extra pigtail, so we may have enough room here. The black plug uses the existing headlight, and I have plenty of length to work with there. One headlight is in, and I hope I have enough clearance that the wire isn't going to bind, rather the connector, as I put the headlight down. There's enough room with it up, but when it goes down, the headlight is actually moving farther away. Whew, here we go. All right. All right. All right, I didn't see, one more time. All right. Okay, that one's good. Our passenger side headlight is working. There was enough room. Our relays are just going to sit here. You guys aren't going to like this, but it's shoved into the grommet, and these things, they're not going nowhere. We may have to sacrifice our stock jack location, unless I make a much better, get a wiring loom and have these wires go over here. We picked our ground position here next to our fuse box, and this should all be covered up by the panels. Now we need to do the driver's side, which means this John has to go all the way out and around. This has to go all the way across the car, and that is not going to make it, is it? So we're going to have to cut all these wires right here and extend them. The wiring harness for the driver's side is going to have to leave the relays, go underneath the sound deadening and carpet deadening, pop out here, go through the grommet, go around the quarter panel, back in and up there. So this is going to need about 1, 2, 3 more feet of wiring. This is going to have to be 3 feet longer. What's going on here is now I'm crimping the new wiring harness together. So it's always a little bit when you have to cut a supplied wiring harness that's all beautiful and nice. But because this is an AW11 and nothing is normal, we need to fit it around the quarter panel and get it in there. So cutting it, and then I'm using bullet connectors to connect it. I really should be soldering and heat shrinking, but I'm not going to do that. I am going to heat shrink, but I'm not going to solder because I'm always worried that in my head I'm connecting everything correctly, but in reality I'm not, because sometimes I see things and my mind says they're correct, but my hands did them wrong. So I like bullet connectors in the same way I like to use mechanical pencils, because they have erasers on them. And bullet connectors, you can always go, oops, wrong one, and reconnect the right one. And then my buddy Lance shows up. Here's my extended wiring harness that's going to have to go through the car. And thank you, Lance. And I chose this bolt here as my ground. So ground goes here. Now we're going to test, see if this is copacetic on this end. We don't have to have a switchable tri-plug, whatever it is, because one triggers both of them. Okay, you better work. And you don't. Okay, I did something wrong. So all I did was hook up my own wiring harness wrong. That's why you color coded it, Brian. You can figure it out. So we got both of them working. Awesome. Whamp. Sorry, Lance. And now I get to fish all of that through the grommet and inside. 3 wires in through this grommet, around and into the bucket. But unlike the passenger side, the driver's side has the gigantic honking washer fluid reservoir in the way for me to work. So I wonder if I should just save myself the trouble and just unhook this just to get a little bit more working space. I wonder why Toyota felt the need, like, why are we going to need this much washer fluid for a windshield this tiny? And it's not like this washer fluid reservoir, like they took it off of a T100 or a pickup. This was made for this. They're like, yeah, let's just fill all of this with fluid. We want to make sure they have enough washer fluid to wash this window for 5 years. Yep, that thing has to come out. It comes out with 2 bolts. One has a bracket on it. And then there's a gigantic, not a bung, but just a piece of rubber down there.
Keeps it from like rattling around and making noise.
Yeah, you're right. And that just sits in there. Unhook the electrical connector to the washer motor, which is connected to the washer reservoir. So this is just going to chill right there while I have some working room. All right, we're good on the passenger side. Here's my extended wiring harness. I'll put a loom on this just so it looks nice. And we're going to use the ground right here. I have no idea what this bolt is supposed to be, but that's going to be our ground for the driver's side. Did I say passenger side? I meant driver's side. Spend so much time in JDM stuff. I got my driver and passenger sides mixed. So one thing we discovered is that down inside, since the driver's side doesn't need this anymore, the stock one, this thing is just flopping around in there, making noise. So I need to zip tie it to something that's going to get nowhere near a bracket or anything. See what I want to zip tie it to, but now that I put this in, I don't have the hands to get in there. Let me see if I can do it by feel. I'm at the point in my life where I don't throw away zip ties like a previous me, where like I can't even be bothered for this one and just throw it on the ground. They should make zip tie flavored gum. I don't have to go around because I don't have to fight for inches because I made my wiring, I made my harness nice and long. I don't have to go through the support. I can pull it back through and go underneath. Oh, I gotta do this without seeing. Oh, this is gonna be like plugging in a USB charger on an outlet behind your bed at night. If you ever have to do one of these things where you need to plug something in and you can't see, close your eyes. You're not using them anyway. All right, if that thing's hangling and this thing's dangling, let's see if it makes that noise again. Good. What I'm doing is I'm keeping the lights on as I reassemble the interior of the frunk in case something goes wrong and they stop working. I figure I realize exactly that it's going wrong because I found one of my crimps was bad here on the main power lead. I'm like, why the fuck are they not turning on? So I'm just going to keep it on here just for a little bit. Thank you, Lance. As I put the strut tower brace on here. You know, people with MR2s, they like to put aftermarket strut tower braces on. I'm like, you know, Toyota just gave you one. But I can't remember if the washers go above or below the brace. I mean, logic dictates they go above it, right? I wonder why they decided to have one here not completely go around the bolt. Like that one. I don't know what the torque rating is. Don't know at all. Tight.
I mean, for strut tower bolts, they're typically not that crazy.
Oh, Dad farts. Yeah, I think the wheels for this car, they're only torqued to 70 foot-pounds or something like that.
I believe it.
Spare tire cover. Hell yeah, you can just put it down.
Yeah, okay. Should I answer it? Put it on camera?
Yeah, put it on camera.
Okay. Yo, what's up?
I'm bringing somebody too. You know who I'm bringing?
Who are you bringing? Oh shit, this is gonna be fun. Recording him putting the Holley Retrobrights in his MR2.
Hey Muzzy.
Are you up there right now?
Yeah, we're here hanging out.
We were just finishing up. We just put the headlights in. They're wired. We're putting the spare tire in.
Oh, my farts. They never stop.
If you wanna, I guess maybe head up here. We're hanging out here right now.
This guy is flopping around a little bit. I do have a wire tie, some cable management I could probably put and just zip tie it like right here.
Yeah. Do you have any final words for the camera?
Oh shit! Is this live?
No, we're just rolling on GoPro. This is gonna be a video for later.
Mopar or working? Actually, wait. I do have something. Bryn Mawr, for some reason, I've seen like multiple Jaguar XJSs. Like, it might be a good day if I see one, but like I see like 2 or 3 on the regular now, and I'm loving it.
This is it. We're done. The only evidence that this thing has the extra wiring harness in, the jack covers up the relays, which are down there. I don't like that they're just hanging in the open, but there's so many wires, and I think with the top and the bottom, they'll stay put. You see a little bit of my loom there on the passenger side, and if you look by the washer, there's a little bit of wiring in there. But apart from that, she looks like she's like nothing's been done. I'm going to leave the headlight shrouds off because we have to wait till night. There's our left and right adjustment, and down below, there's a screw in there for up and down. But when you put the shroud on, you can't get left and right adjustment. Although I think left and right is probably going to be fine because it's a blade that goes right across. Unless we get out there and we see one is like cocked to the left or to the right. Because these things were aligned fine for incandescent, but I'm not sure where the blade of light is going. Well, thank you. That's it done. Retrobrights on an AW11.